If you're serious about training for your first half marathon, you need to watch this. People ask about my running, so I decided to share how I train for a half marathon from start to finish. So this is going to be a series where I include my training plan, how to pick the best running shoes for you personally, the best way to eat during the run to fuel the run, especially for a half. Most likely you're going to need something as you go. And how to add cross training into your program to increase your performance and also prevent injury. All of these aspects are important when you're training for a run. So I'm including my tips and tricks as well as going to the experts at Runner's World to see what they say about the matter. I'm sure you're all aware of Runner's World and at least the online presence, if not the magazine. They came out with a masterclass called How to Master the Half Marathon. So I'll be using that. The coach is Knox Robinson, and the class that I'm following along with is for Runner's World members only. So I can't just give away the information completely for free. So instead, I will share my journey, my training tips and experiences and lessons as I go, as opposed to just completely and solely their plan. But before you begin, I will tell you that base training is recommended, and I personally recommend that. I mean, I can tell you that it's not just Runner's World, but any training plan that you're going to do, it's going to recommend this because it's important in order to prevent injury. You don't just want to hop into something and keep increasing mileage without having worked up to that. So base training would be like working up to 3 miles and then being able to run 3 miles about 3 times a week consistently, being able to make those runs without having to stop and doing that for about a good 2 to 3 months before you begin any half marathon training plan. The rule is to add about 10% mileage per week. So if right now you don't really run at all or you can't run a mile without stopping, don't worry, I have a free beginner's guide. Check out the link below and I'll get that to you. I know from experience, you don't just want to jump into a training plan and keep increasing your mileage without having built up to that, mainly because you don't want to have injuries as a result of your body not being prepared to be able to take on long distances and mileage because you have that pounding on the ground. So you want to make sure that your body can take all that as you keep increasing the miles over the weeks. So let's start with the training plan. Specifically for the half, you can select a plan based on running level versus time goals, or a 10-week plan versus a 14-week plan. For example, running level would be a beginner starting with 15 to 20 miles per week of running experience. Intermediate would be 25 to 30 miles per week. Or then there are multiple advanced plans. But if your focus is on completing a half within a certain time, there are specific plans for breaking an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, or 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to actually use the 10-week plan just because I don't want to lose focus and I want to make sure that I can complete it. The 14-week probably is best because it would give me more time. However, I don't know if I can stick to it for 14 weeks, so I'm going to use the 10. Also, I'm selecting the basic beginner plan because I haven't run an actual half marathon in about 8 years, so it's been a long time. Now, normally I like to add 1 to 2 weeks to anything I do just to compensate for like timing conflicts, injuries, extra rest days, just time off that I may need in between runs, where I might be a little off from whatever it is that is the expectation. However, the Runner's World Masterclass assured me that it's okay to miss workouts. As long as I complete about 80%, I'll still be in the range that they want me to be. So I'm just going to trust them and go with the flow, do the 10 weeks and not add anything to it. In terms of the actual running schedule, it includes just mainly two types of runs: easy runs and then runs at half marathon pace. There really isn't any interval or speed training, I guess, because it's for beginners, and that may be more of an intermediate to advanced thing. So I'm not really focused on my time other than completing, feeling great and doing my best. And not having to walk during the race. My goal is just simply to run the race at the best that I can do at whatever time that it may be, without having to walk or feel horrible after the run. And then I'll focus on speed maybe during the next run or next race I do. Since there are some runs at half marathon pace, I did use a book, also by Runner's World, just to be able to convert my 5K, which is 3.1 miles, into what my half marathon pace actually should be. It looks like it is around 11.08 minute mile. I'm not necessarily looking to accomplish that in 13.1 miles. However, when I do my trainings, I will try to adhere to the plan and use that as my goal pace during the shorter distances when it requires to do half marathon training pace. Also, this is just one of my faves. I personally recommend a GPS watch. That does wonders for helping you if you're a beginner, just to be able to keep and maintain a consistent pace while you're running. A lot of times it's hard to determine how fast you're going, and this just sort of helps you to be able to gauge as you go over the weeks to really know what you're doing, whether you're going fast or slow, but more importantly, just being able to keep an even run so that you can complete it and you don't begin too fast and then gas out and have to walk. I know, at least for me, I could see when I was taking off too fast, and it just helped me to be able to create a steady running pace. So that's all I've got for today. For the first week of training, it includes my first run being a 2-mile run and my second run being a 4-mile run, both at easy pace. So I'll share a little of those runs, and I guess I'll see you on the road. So I finished the 2-mile run, and I'm not too fast, but I'm just doing it at my own speed. I have been running about a month to 2 months just to get my base training back in. However, I did take about 2 weeks off, so that first run is always challenging when you get back into it after you've taken a small break. But anyway, it's completed, and that's all that matters. So I completed my run. That's 4 miles. Slow and easy. Now the street lights are on. That's okay. It's done, and I can go home. The next long run, I would definitely have to get up 2 hours earlier to complete because it's just way too hot out here. Only finished 2.5 miles, and I had to stop and listen to my body, but we'll talk about it later. Today is the first long run, 5 miles. I went out early this morning, but apparently not early enough. It was super hot, and I had 5 miles to do at a low, slow pace. I only was able to complete 2.5 of that, so half. I decided to listen to my body and go ahead and call it quits. So hopefully next week's long run will be better. I'm gonna stretch and prepare, hopefully get some of the soreness out of my body and start 2 hours earlier so that I will be able to complete the run for the following week. I also like to run on Saturdays instead of Sundays for my long run. I know a lot of training plans have Sunday as the long run, but Sunday's my rest day, and I usually like to go to church. So I normally bump my schedule up so that I can complete my long run on either Friday or Saturday, whichever is convenient and whichever way it fits into my schedule best. So in summary, if you happen to be following along, this week consisted of a 2 mile run, a 4 mile run, another 2 mile run, and then a 5 mile long run. All easy mileage, slow, easy, steady. So not too difficult or hard on the body, but still experienced a little soreness, and I'm looking forward to next week.